The ocean suddenly pulled away from the shoreline. Boats dropped onto the exposed seafloor, fish flopped helplessly in the sand, while confused people walked closer to the water, trying to understand what was happening. But far out in the ocean, something terrifying was already racing toward the coast. A massive tsunami wave, and within minutes, entire cities would disappear beneath the water. One of the deadliest tsunamis in history struck in 2004 after a gigantic undersea earthquake near Indonesia. At first, many people along the beaches had no idea they were in danger. Tourists watched the strange ocean behavior while children played near the exposed shoreline. Then suddenly, people saw it. A giant black wall of water moving toward the coast at terrifying speed. Witnesses described hearing a roar louder than an airplane engine as the tsunami slammed into cities across Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and India. Buildings shattered instantly. Cars and buses were swept away like toys, while thousands of people desperately tried running for higher ground. Entire towns vanished beneath the water within minutes. Helicopter footage later showed ships thrown deep into cities while coastlines were transformed into fields of destruction and debris. More than 200,000 people lost their lives in the disaster, making it one of the deadliest natural catastrophes ever recorded. But decades earlier, another terrifying tsunami shocked the world in a completely different way. In 1958, a massive earthquake triggered a gigantic landslide inside Alaska's Lituya Bay. Millions of tons of rock crashed directly into the water, creating what many experts still consider the largest tsunami wave ever recorded in human history. The wave rose to an unimaginable height, over 1,700 feet into the air. Entire forests were ripped completely off mountainsides. Trees vanished as the giant wall of water exploded through the narrow bay with unbelievable force. A few fishing boats trapped inside the bay somehow survived the disaster. Survivors later described seeing a mountain of water racing directly toward them. One captain said the wave looked taller than anything he had ever imagined possible. And even today, the Lituya Bay mega tsunami remains one of the most terrifying natural events ever documented. But nature struck again in 2011. A gigantic earthquake off the coast of Japan triggered another devastating tsunami that shocked the entire world. Warning sirens echoed across Japanese cities as people rushed desperately toward rooftops and evacuation shelters. Then the tsunami arrived. A massive black wave swallowed homes, roads, airports, and entire neighborhoods, while cameras captured the terrifying destruction live on television. Cars floated through flooded streets, ships crashed into buildings, entire towns disappeared beneath dark seawater. The tsunami also triggered the Fukushima nuclear disaster, creating fear far beyond Japan itself. For many survivors, the most horrifying part was how fast everything happened. One moment the city was standing normally, and minutes later, it was gone. But perhaps one of the strangest tsunami disasters happened without a major ocean earthquake at all. In 1883, the volcanic eruption of Krakatoa in Indonesia created one of the loudest sounds ever heard in human history. The explosion triggered enormous tsunami waves that destroyed coastal villages across the region. Ships were thrown inland, while massive waves killed tens of thousands of people. Some survivors reported hearing terrifying screams carried across the ocean by the wind and water. The eruption was so powerful that skies around the world changed color for months afterward. And still today, Krakatoa remains one of the most violent volcanic disasters ever recorded, because tsunamis are unlike almost any other natural disaster. They don't always arrive with obvious warning signs, they move faster than most people can escape. And when the ocean suddenly rises against the land, entire civilizations can disappear beneath the water forever.